大家好，我是亚洲老大的阿宁。2017年，日本法务省以在日本的外国人为调查对象，开展了一个遭受歧视的调查，其调查结果颇为惊人。1年后，我们在日本访问了在当地生活的外国人，他们在日本的生活中经常遭受到歧视吗？一起来听听看他们怎么说。
Where are you from and how long have you lived in Japan?
So I'm originally from America, Connecticut. So I've been here about 8 months so far.
I'm from Korea and I lived in Japan about 10 years.
We're from the Philippines and we've been here in Japan for 3 months.
I'm from Fiji. Now I'm going on my 4th year in Japan.
Prior to coming to Japan, what was your perception of Japanese people?
They're really polite and they're quite punctual and they're quite quiet. They're not speak a lot. Yeah.
They are generally kind and they follow the rules well.
You know, Japanese people are so polite, so they'll never tell you outright that you're doing something wrong, but you know you are. So that was definitely difficult.
True.
Challenge when you come here is making sure you're not breaking the social rules. So, like how to use an onsen, how you take off your shoes at the genkan, how low should you bow, when should you apologize, especially when you deal with the language, the level of honorifics you should use. Should you use keigo? Should you, be more humble? There's a lot more social rules in Japan than there are in America.
Last year, Japan's Ministry of Justice conducted the first ever survey of foreign residents about their experiences with discrimination. Did you know about this?
I hadn't heard of this. No.
No, I didn't.
Yes, I read about it.
On the internet?
Hi. Yes.
What percentage of foreigners do you think experienced public insults or discrimination from the Japanese?
2%.
By guessing, about 30%. I went drinking with friends and we tried to go into this shop and they said, no, only Japanese only.
Wow.
For me, I said, wow, if this was America, it would have been a big problem. But here, it's normal.
The answer is actually 33.3%.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, right?
Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, I believe it. I think it's also quite racially divided. Like, it's not as simple a question as foreigners, but where are the foreigners from? So I think maybe foreigners from European, North America might not experience the same amount of discrimination as foreigners from other countries like Africa or maybe India. So I think that I'd really be curious to know what the numbers are based on race.
Have you ever felt discriminated against or uncomfortable in public spaces because you're a foreigner?
Yeah, I did. I have some experiences. Told me like you're kind of stinky, like kimchi kusai.
For me, it's always really small things. If you sit on the train, there's an empty seat next to you, maybe the Japanese person will choose to stand instead of sitting next to you, depending on the person. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Does this make you feel sad or something?
A little bit, but again, I can understand that Japan is very homogenous society, so if they see something that's different or a different person, it's normal for them to feel a little uncomfortable.
What about from the Japanese media? How do you think foreigners are portrayed on TV? Did you see anything that might be offensive?
A Japanese comedian painting his face black and imitating a black person, that's sort of a famous example, I guess. If somebody did that in America, it would be a big news story and it would be very offensive.
I think Japanese people are not racist. I think they're just uninformed. They're not informed correctly concerning dark people. Black people, in movies, we are the gangsters, we're the thugs,
Thug life.
And the hip hop, hip hop and rappers and stuff like that. So one thing that I found out in Japan is they listen to the media a lot.
My American friends have been interviewed in Japanese and maybe they made a Japanese mistake. And they said, oh, sorry, can I do that one more time? And the interviewer said, no, it's more funny when you make a mistake. So perhaps there's an idea of sort of making them look a little silly when they're on TV, sort of exoticizing them a little bit.
In general, what is the work environment like as a foreigner in Japan?
You can meet a lot of people. A lot of people want to be friends with foreigners and practice their English.
Yeah,
I want to
true.
practice my Japanese, and so I have that ability to reach out to people.
They don't expect you to follow all the rules, and they don't expect you to know all of the details of, who stands in the front of the elevator or the back of the elevator, who pours the drink for the boss. So it's just easier as a foreigner.
Foreigner cannot be accepted as a real part of their company. I think that the foreigners just temporary tools for their business. When I hear some story from my foreign friends living in Tokyo, and then they ended up leaving from Tokyo like in 2 or 3 years because they just get fed up with a relationship within their company. So
Why do you think there are discriminations against foreigners in the first place? Do you think Japanese people are even aware of the fact that what they are doing might be discriminatory?
I think that just comes with the fact that Japan is such a homogenous society and just lack of resources to really interact with a lot of foreigners.
Actually, I just found out like calling a Japanese person racist is a big thing. They don't take it very easily. Me and my friends, we went to a restaurant. How they did it was very, there was a lot of discrimination, and then my friend said, "You're racist," and the lady was like almost dying there. It's like, I can't believe you just said that. But everybody knows, what racist is, what discrimination is.
When you are on the receiving end of discrimination, how doesn't that make you feel?
Well, of course, it makes you feel lonely. I think most people want to feel like they're part of the group and part of society. You wonder, what did you do wrong? And the answer is nothing. You didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
But this person just has their own ideas, so I just try to think, okay, it's their problem, it's not my problem.
I came here because I love Japan, and then to start my new career in Japan, to say them back that I'm just a human being, and I'm not illegal resident in Japan, so do not do this discrimination toward me.
I never thought it would happen. I thought everybody was polite, everybody was, Genki, but I learned the hard way. People pushing me away, people not want to sitting next to me. It made me feel sad. Japanese people are trying to bring foreigners here, but at the same time they're trying to kick them away.
Whenever there is a discussion on these types of topics, some Japanese people might see you as complaining, and they might even say things like, if you don't like it here, why don't you just go back to your country?
Yeah.
Have you heard this before?
Yeah, I've heard it a lot.
How do you respond to that?
I just ignore it.
I've never heard that before personally. I've never heard anything like that. I think that if somebody says that, they're not willing to talk about a problem. I probably just would not talk to that person anymore.
So, how do you process these experiences compared to discrimination or prejudice you may have experienced in your home country or while traveling elsewhere? Is it any different?
Of course, as a white male in America, I'm not discriminated against anywhere, basically. All of the discrimination that happens is usually by people who look like me.
With discriminations, I grew up in America, so I went through discrimination when I was younger. So when I came here, I thought they did it in such a way, it was not bothering me compared to America, where it's verbal or it's, over here they do it like a ninja, so to say, silently,
In America, where I'm from, the discrimination is more historical, but in Japan, the discrimination is more merit-based. So the way I think about it is, let's say you come to Japan, you're not Japanese, but people are discriminating against you. As soon as you show them your meishi, your name card, and maybe you've got good credentials, all the discrimination will stop. So it's all about how you sell yourself here. If you speak Japanese, that's another really good plus. We don't dislike them, we love them for trying, because so many foreigners here, they don't try. It's just a matter of exposure. Once there are more people living here, I don't mean tourists, there are a lot of tourists here, but that's different. When there are people living here who are in the community, then that will change, I think.
感谢我们所有的受访者向我们分享他们的观点。你是否也在日本生活或工作呢？是否也听说过这些问题？或者说有什么相同的经历吗？欢迎留言告诉我们你的想法。如果想要继续关注更多的亚洲新闻和文化动向，那就记得请订阅我们的频道。谢谢收看，还有记得求知若渴。